Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm here today to talk about John Cena's Sinister Six. The Sinister Six is typically used when you're describing like enemies. So this is like John Cena's like best six like rivalries in a way. So to start off, we could go with Edge. And in my opinion, I think that's John Cena's best rival of all time. Edge, like when John Cena first started having his championship runs, Edge as a heel really elevated John Cena and things like that. And of course, New Year's revolution or resolution where Edge cashed in on John Cena. You could talk about the build up to SummerSlam 2006. You could talk about WrestleMania 25. Talk about Backlash 2007. Um, yeah, just as a heel, Edge really elevated John Cena. Uh, and then the next one I want to talk about, Randy. Everybody knows about their rivalry. I'm sure it dates back to like 2006 or 2007. I think they started like really going against each other in 2007. Of course, it's Backlash 2007, SummerSlam, um, and they went against each other when John Cena tore his pec in late 2007. Of course, there's the I Quit match, and I don't necessarily think the rivalry I think it's a little bit overrated, but it's still a good rivalry because they were pretty much like the top two guys going, like exiting the 2000s and entering the 2010s. And speaking of another guy that was exiting the 2000s and going into the 2010s, top tier guy. We have CM Punk and John Cena. Of course, they have a 5-star match in between each other with Money in the Bank, and they also they also have that Raw match on February 25th. I believe it was a WrestleMania qualifier. I believe. And then there's also the pipe bomb. The pipe bomb was a message that was like received by Cena from Punk, and they also went at it again this year with John Cena being the heel and Punk being the good guy. Um, and yeah, the next guy I want to get into is Brock Lesnar. Of course, Brock and Cena came in the same year, and I think they had one match in the early 2000s, and then Brock took that. Um, he went UFC and stuff like that. He came back 2012, Extreme Rules 2012, where I think that was like the only time where Cena like won one. And then the other times it's been Brock. Of course, SummerSlam 2014 when Cena got destroyed. And then this year at WrestlePalooza 2025 where Cena got destroyed again. But it's a really good rivalry. These guys came into the WWE the same year. They were the same class. And the 2002 class overall was really good. but these guys just been going at it, man. And I don't know if it's gonna be the last time, because John Cena has 4 more dates left as I'm making this video. What was that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the 5th one I want to talk about is AJ Styles, and I think from an in-ring perspective, they have the best matches overall. They don't really necessarily have too much storyline build up. Of course, AJ Styles talks about how he wants to beat John Cena, and John just comes in and does John Cena things. But like, in-ring wise, somehow, some way, they do not wrestle the same, but it doesn't mean they can't complement each other, because they complement each other like crazy. Like, you could talk about, what was it? I think it was SummerSlam 2016. No, Money in the Bank 2016, SummerSlam 2016, Royal Rumble 2017, and then there was a SmackDown match in 2018 to qualify in the Fastlane PLE, and then there was Crown Jewel in Perth this year, and every single one of the matches, all of them were incredible. Especially SummerSlam 2016. That's one of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. But I guess the storyline to it is like John Cena's Mr. WWE and AJ Styles was Mr. TNA. So, and people did not think that AJ Styles was coming to WWE, but when he did and he went against John Cena, that there wasn't really any need for a story. The storyline wrote itself at that point. And then the last one, John Cena versus The Rock. They only went against each other in 2 matches, both WrestleMania 28 and 29. 28 was obviously better. 29 wasn't too crazy. Wasn't terrible or anything, but like 28 was way better. It's just a storyline of it. The Rock, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time, coming back and trying to get at one of the most famous wrestlers of today, which was like 2011, 2012, 2013, which was most famous wrestler in 2011, 2012, and 2013 was John Cena. So, the storylines like were incredible, and I believe that WrestleMania 28 is the most bought pay-per-view of all time, because at that time it was Rock and Cena, and they treat it as a once in a lifetime thing, to where like you can't miss something like this. Genuinely once in a lifetime, excuse me. And yeah, of course, they're both incredible on the mic. So I'm gonna choose Rock for that last one, even though they didn't have multiple matches like together.